Hey there, sweet peas. All right, today feels like a Palo Santo kind of day. I did a little pre-poll to see what kind of energy we have going on today before the reading really gets rolling. And the card that came out, I'll show you in just a moment, is the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is not necessarily, it's not inherently bad. It just felt very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very rough around the edges. Like a lot of effort involved. It feels like whoever this reading is for, you've really been going through it. Whatever it is, whatever is going on here, man, there's some rough energy here. Something preventing you from getting out of the Nine of Wands and into the Ten of Wands, which is completion. You know, when you have that cycle, the 1, 2, 3, 4, through the tarot, the Nine of Wands, I'll show you now. You can see this wolf has blood on its fur and it's very defensive, very defensive. It's not a great energy, so, it's close to the end. It's close to victory, but it feels like there's something in the way that's keeping it from getting over the finish line and, reaching the goalpost. So first of all, I want to get a little clarification. So tell me what is preventing the collective from getting over the finish line? What is the blockage? Tell me more about the blockage. Okay. Queen of Wands. Knight of Swords, Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Tell me more about the blockage. Tell me more about the blockage keeping this cycle from completing. Tell me more about the blockage. Body threshold. Okay. Let's see. Tell me more about the blockage. Dreamweaver. And fast progress. Okay. So it looks to me like there's something that you're trying to create and you really want to see fast progress. You have a lot of big dreams around it, but you may have been working towards something that doesn't actually bring you to your goal. I see a lot of passion in the Queen of Wands, and the Knight of Swords is, a card of movement, of making its way towards the goal and using intellect to figure out the best path to reach it. But then I see Seven of Pentacles, and it looks like you have some choices there. You have some options that may be distracting you, things that are coming up that are not quite helping with this fast progress that you're looking for. I think you may be spending too much time in your head looking at the options instead of actually working towards achieving the passion. Or if you were working towards it, it could be that so many distractions came up that you kind of, what's that expression? You can't see the forest for the trees. You get really caught up in the individual problems instead of the ultimate goal. The obstacles that keep coming up, you're tackling them with all of your zest and your intellect and your passion, and not saving anything for the goal. You may have also had other obligations come up. People have come up to you and asked for your help, which took away valuable time and energy that should have been spent towards working on your dreams. It feels very much like you're trying to be a little bit of everything to everyone instead of focusing on what you need to do to achieve your own dreams and goals. You're charging ahead, yes, but are you charging towards other people's problems, or are you charging towards your goal? Are you staying committed and focused to creating one thing, or are you spending a bunch of time working on other people's dreams? Have you lost yourself in the process of trying to achieve whatever this goal is? And along the way, has it made you feel as if you're fighting constant battles in order to get what it is that you want, without actually getting anywhere? I mean, the truth is you have made progress. 9 of Wands is significant progress, but it may not feel that way because you've spent so much time and energy on other things, on these distractions, on fighting to have time for yourself, on fighting to work on your own dreams. All right, let's go to advice. Let's go to advice. Tell me what we got here. Share wisdom. How funny, that card recently came out in another reading. I have a larger copy of this deck. I just happened to grab this one because it was small and I have little hands. The Sage. Huh. That is very, very interesting. Wisdom and the Sage. That feels maybe a little portentous there. You know, it looks like the moon is in kind of a dichotomy cycle there. And the way that the wands are represented, it kind of puts me in mind of the 2 of Wands. Sort of waiting for an answer here. All right. Whatever you feel, you are allowed to feel it. Need more advice for the collective about this situation. What advice? Happiness is my birthright. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. Very nice. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. Okay. Advice, please. Advice for the collective on this situation. Advice for the collective on this situation. Spiritual warfare. Okay. right, let me give myself a little more space here. All right, the last thing I'll pull is an angel number here, but I'll do that in a minute. So we have share wisdom here. It could be that if you are working towards something that is very spiritual and very powerful in terms of your happiness and your future and your ultimate goals, it could be, instead of letting people pull you into their problems, their issues, their needs, if you talk to them about what it is that you're trying to accomplish, instead of getting caught up in all of these other possibilities and distractions, that it could very well make a huge difference for you making progress towards what it is you're dreaming about. And we have the Sage here, which means I think you actually already know this. You're just kind of letting yourself get caught up in these distractions. You know what it is you need to do to achieve the things that you're passionate about and what you need to build, but at the same time, you feel an obligation to others. It may be time to explore, use your own inner wisdom, you know, to think about what it is this actually means to you and what that attention means when you give it to others. You know, one of the advice cards here is whatever you feel, you are allowed to feel it. So if you feel like you need to help these people out of a sense of obligation, then maybe it's time to explore why you feel that way. You're certainly allowed to feel it, but that doesn't mean that you need to be ruled by those feelings, because you are the sage. You are wise. You have knowledge of what it is you need to do and how you can achieve your goals. So, you know, the main energy out of these three was happiness is my birthright. So is it your happiness that you're working on or somebody else's? Because when I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. So, you know, it sounds to me like you might be working too hard on making other people happy instead of yourself. Because, you know, if you look here, when I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. So there are two, I think those are owls, two birds who are leaning up against each other, and, you know, they look very peaceful and very, very, very calm. And this kind of energy here feels very spread out. So if you're spreading out your energy, instead of looking at what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, what brings you peace, then you get stuck in this perpetual not quite there yet feeling of needing to, you know, get defensive about what it is that you need and what you're trying to achieve. I don't think that it's a coincidence that spiritual warfare came out. Remember that you have all you need to stand strong in this life and have victory over the battlefields of your mind, heart, and soul. You've got the angel and devil energy here, those two sides of the same coin. And if you remember in Share Wisdom and the Sage, I pointed out you've got the moon energy here, kind of looks like there's lighter energy here and lighter energy here. So it kind of gave me that feeling of there's some dichotomy there between looking to your own wisdom and sharing your wisdom with others. There comes a point where one needs to look to themselves and put their own life jacket on before they start trying to do it for others. If you're perpetually doing for others but never for yourself, it becomes extremely difficult to find that joy, to find that happiness, to find that peace that you're looking for. So it's not a crime to take care of yourself first. And, you know, if that's something that you needed to hear, man, I can feel it. I can feel it. And I hope things get better, but that does feel like something that you needed to hear. So I want to let you know that it's okay. All right. Feels like there's another. Yeah. One more card. Angel numbers for the collective. Okay. All right, so the numbers we have are 8, 1818, and 33. 8 is karma. As you sow, so shall you reap. Karma is a harmonious balance that brings the conscious and unconscious, the material and the spiritual. Be mindful and intentional about your thoughts and actions as they hold the power to shape our experiences. Beautiful. 1818. Personal power. You are equipped with everything you need to manifest your own greatness. Connect with your power through meditation, visualization, and manifestation rituals. You will see the magic unfold as you set your intention and focus your attention. Beautiful. This reminds me of the Strength card. And 33, creativity. When you tap into the creative energy within, you unlock the riches of your inner being and bring your vision to life. Allow your heart to open, let your emotions flow, and give voice to your soul. Embrace the freedom to express yourself fully, for this is where true magic and creativity are born. Beautiful. So, you know, what I'm seeing here is it looks very much like what I was saying. You need to find some balance. It feels like you have something really creative that you've been working on. You have a lot of passion for it, and it's something that you really want. You know what you need to do in order to achieve it. But if you're overgiving, you know, you need to find balance between what you're giving to others and what you're giving yourself. You do have a lot of personal power, and that's where that energy comes from, to continuously give to others. But there also comes a point where if you open the floodgates and all you're doing is giving, and not making time for your own dreams, then that progress that you're looking for is going to stall. I really do feel like you're right on the finish line. I genuinely do feel like you're right on the finish line, and it may not feel that way. You might feel very stuck. You might feel like you've been pushing so hard and working for so long, and it's reached the point where it feels like a grind. It feels like it just feels like a struggle. It feels like you haven't been able to move forward because you've got such a gnarly, like, kind of energy going on there. This defensiveness does not feel great. And I'd like to see a little more attention put towards what you're passionate about instead of towards what other people are putting in front of you. I think that would help out quite a lot. And I don't know what it is. I pulled out this deck earlier, and I'm not sure what it is you need to hear, but this is the Magic of Letting Go Oracle. So maybe there's something in here. What do you need to let go? Past traumas. Seek support and allow yourself time to process. Healing isn't linear. Yeah, so it could be that you have this perpetual people-pleasing going on because of a past trauma, and that may be something that you need to explore, because you are powerful. You do have the power to move past this and achieve your goals. Absolutely you do. And I don't think it's a coincidence that trauma has something to do with it, because I know this probably sounds a little silly, but some of the strongest people I know went through some of the hardest times. So, you know, the difference is do you remain stuck in what happened, or do you work past it and use it as a learning experience instead of as a subconscious driver towards making sure others don't feel the way that you did? Maybe that people pleasing came from, I don't know, did you have a parent who maybe didn't support you and your creative endeavors, or someone you really cared about, someone whose opinion really mattered to you? Did they belittle something you were trying to make, or make less of it? Oh, look at that, the candle went out. All right, well, I think that's enough for you to chew over. I'm going to ask if this helped. Please, let me know. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, and let me know what you got out of this. I sincerely hope it was helpful. And, stick around. We'll see you in the next video, okay? Love you guys.